Right-hand side, our Blue Zerg player from Euronix Gaming. Let's hear if you're going to be cheering on the one and only Nerchio. And down to the bottom left-hand side of the map, we're going to be seeing the Red Protoss player. Let's hear it if you're cheering on Hellraiser. Guys, let's hear some hype in the chat. Let's spread the word. Get out on Twitter, retweet us, or just tweet yourselves at the Wardi Open Finals Day is live. Get yourselves on over to Reddit or StarCraft. Get on there and be like, yo guys, who cares about the Korean scene? Let's all cheer up a little bit and have some joy and appreciate the StarCraft that does still survive. Spread the word. Let's tell everyone that the Wardi Open Finals Day is live. We're going to be live for a good few hours yet. Lots of StarCraft to cast. And this is unfortunately going to be my last cast for about a week or so. We're going to be back on Tuesday, but the problem is I'm going to Brazil because unfortunately I have to go cast WESG. So obviously that's kind of awesome and pretty sick. Opportunity of a lifetime, but you know, it's kind of shitty because that means that we're not going to have much of a stream going on from this channel. So do apologise for that, but you can catch me over on WESG. That's the Starlight stream. You'll be casting players such as Neeb, Scarlet, Nogue, Red, and others. So make sure you tune in for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. That goes live on Friday, and it'll be live Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well. If you want to read a little bit more about it, exclamation mark WSG in the chat. But honestly, it's it doesn't really say anything else other than the fact I'm going to Brazil to cast it. So not really much else to read. I'm sure there'll be an official announcement soon. They haven't got one up on the website just yet, but I'm sure there will be at some point. So again, just keep up to date with that tournament, and that's why you'll be able to catch me rather than here on this stream. Again, it's not great. Don't like not having the stream live so much, but obviously there's opportunities that we just can't give up, and I will make up for it, of course, when A, when we're back, and B, just especially kind of towards the end of November, start of December. That's when we'll really kind of make up for all of these kind of streams we're going to be missing over the next couple months or next month, just because of BlizzCon and whatever else, and Home Story Cup and so on. And so on, because Home Story Cup's been announced now as well. And so what happens is I actually leave for BlizzCon November 1st. I go to BlizzCon. At the end of BlizzCon, I fly to San Francisco. I'm staying with Fear Dragon for about a week and a half. I'm going to be seen from San Francisco. I'll be able to stream a little bit from Fear Dragon's place. But then after San Francisco, I fly straight to Germany, and I'm going to be going to Home Story Cup. So that's going to be the plan for November. So I come back to November 21st. So again, the stream's not going to be live a whole ton the next month or so. But we will still be live as much as we can be, and when we're back, we'll be live every single day. There'll be more StarCraft 2 content than ever before here on WardiTV. So to stop talking about other things and to actually talk about this first game of this best of 5 series, we see Hellraiser is coming up this ramp with this Adept. You see already though, Queen is just out the front ready to grid it and does push that Adept back just a little bit here as the Adept goes in towards the main base, does shade through, but then does cancel pretty quickly. A couple drones and an Overlord being added up. I'm just going to see those few Zerglings and Nerchio just going to be moving out onto the map as well. So the feeling's just going to be collecting together over there. There is that third hatchery on the way from Nerchio as well. And really nothing too crazy, unique, or just, you know, anything you wouldn't expect right now is we're just going to be seeing a 3 gates added on. Hellraiser is going to go for a fairly aggressive variant of the Resonating Glaives with 4 gates to reinforce with. We've been seeing this a little bit more often lately rather than just 3 gates. So going up to 4 gates, then taking the third base and just sort of going from there. So we're just going to be seeing these feelings just collecting together on this upper watchtower. We're going to be seeing, oh, well, pylon up here, I initially just thought was for some, you know, reinforcing the depths or whatever, you know, a little bit out of position. But there's going to be 3 more gateways. There's going to be a big old 8-gate Adept all in here, so Hellraiser are going to get very aggressive from the get-go. And let's see if he's going to be able to catch Nerchio a little bit off guard, a little bit unprepared in terms of dealing with this incoming attack very shortly. Obviously the gateways up here means he gets a fast warp in around this area, and that does definitely help as well, means he can reinforce at the front more or less with his units as time passes by. And that's really important when you go for a big attack like this. You want to be able to reinforce and to just rebuild nice and quickly. So that's important here. So you're going to see that Creep Tumor just coming out. We'll be pushing out over this top side. You're going to be seeing, well, an Overlord is up at the top side as well, just moving in position. I mean, Nerchio right now doesn't really have much of a read on this at all. He's got absolutely no idea. He has got a Roach Roar, and Roach Speed is going to be starting right now. He's got an Evolution Chamber on the way up as well. He does have a few Roaches to begin with. Is that going to be enough for him to hold on against what is going to be 8 Adepts being produced at any point in time? So, going to be making 8 Adepts at a time. And Nerchio, actually, does he see this? Okay, he's actually seen the Adepts, so he knows where they are to begin with. He's going to start kiting nice and early on. Gets one shot off already. One Adept loses its shield. It's going to be chasing now back towards this angle. And, well, the Adepts are going to jump on top of those Roaches. And Hellraiser is going to start picking his way through those Roaches pretty quickly. So, Roaches taking some damage. And Nerchio Does just have to find a way to make sure you can defend against this. We're going to see the Adepts actually shading through into the natural expansion. So those Adepts going to start shading on through here. The Roach is continuing to trade. The Adepts will just shade away, and into the natural they go. That Roach going to get taken down here. Some drones just going to pull away to the side. Zerglin's going to come in. They are going to catch a few of these Adepts as well. So more damage being done as we speak. But at the same time, Nerchio's not losing that many workers. Now finding the workers being target fired. 7 of them going down. But Nerchio's sort of okay with 7 to 9 workers going down, I think. Although he still has units to deal with over in the third base as well. So he has to keep on top of this. He's now lost 18 workers. That said, he will have a lot of army compared to his opponent because at all points in time here, Hellraiser is losing army and killing very little army of his opponent. So, yes, he is killing off workers, but Nerchio's keeping a good army supply, and with a solid army supply, his counterattack potential is going to be absolutely massive. And actually, with more and more army coming in, these Adepts now are not going to be able to do so much on their own, and they just have to be a little bit more careful about where they do shade into. You're seeing these Adepts just coming forwards here. Roach is actually going to chase those few units away, get a couple of shots off. You're going to see the Adepts just shading on in towards the third base right now. So, the Adepts just shade on in towards the third base, and we're just going to be seeing the Queen, and these Roaches are going to be continuing to pick away through these Adepts. So, we're just going to be continuing to clean out this, and yeah, just continue to pick up a whole bunch more damage. So, more Adepts going down here, and that's going to be actually 6 drones, which have just died off. So, another 6 drones dying off, and we're going to see more Roaches and Nerchio just continue to roll on forwards. And they are going to be getting rid of this pylon. So this pylon going to go down. And as the pylon falls, we can just see these gateways are kind of just left without much of a purpose. And that's one of the benefits of Nerchio's build here as well. Not his build, but it's one, I guess, not necessarily a benefit of Nerchio, but it's a disadvantage to the build of Hellraiser, where these gateways, he kind of, hides them to be able to A, walk in fast, but B, to kind of stop Nerchio scouting it as easily. But now he loses them, and so he's on free bases, but doesn't have as much production as he might usually have. Now, we do see Double Stargate came up behind all of this, and he's going into a couple of Void Rays. And that's, I think, one of the most obvious things to expect. 2 Void Rays popping out here, coming towards the front, and just having a little bit of a look to see what they can get up to. So 2 Void Rays already coming out. They're going to sit between the natural and the third base. It's the perfect decision. The Void Rays are so good against these Roaches. Nerchio, I mean, he doesn't have an answer to those just yet. However, Hydra Den does start, and going into this Hydra Den is definitely the one way he can make sure to make this work out for himself. So we'll see how it goes, how it develops. Love this brilliant placement of the Evolution Chamber here just to block these Adepts from getting through. You're just going to see the Adepts continue to work their way through this Evo, trying to break through over the next few minutes. Actually, a couple of Adepts is going to end up going in towards this third base as well. So a couple of Adepts coming in towards the third base here, and just going to be seeing those Adepts getting cleaned out. So Adepts do get cleaned out, about 6 workers killed in total there. And we're just going to be seeing that Evo does actually finish. Nerchio will actually have to kill that off, otherwise his units from the mid and natural will end up being trapped. So you'll have to make sure he goes for that. And, well, Hellraiser, I mean, let's just take a moment to actually talk about Hellraiser's position. Because he did do a lot of damage early. Yes, he didn't kind of kill a lot of army, but now he's got these Void Rays up. I mean, maybe there's a potential for him to defend. The one thing I'm worried about is, yeah, he's adding on cannons as he goes into Sky Toss, but he doesn't have anything on the ground, and there's just nothing to really kind of help against the Hydralisks or anything. There's no cannons over towards this third base. They're all kind of positioned, actually in very weird locations here. This one's very weird. These ones are kind of okay covering the ramp, but there's nothing really in the third base to help out. There's the Void Rays coming in. They already started to work their way through the Roaches. 4 probes getting killed off though, and actually these pylons over here will go down as well. I think Nerchio just attacked his own Roach on the way through. I was like, oh, did he just kill off another probe? But he didn't, and he was a dead Roach. And the Voids were not in position, so I think he just killed his own Roach. But that's okay, it happens. Doesn't make much of a difference as this attack gets set to go down towards that bottom left-hand side. And we've seen a few Voids just up in the skies, and, well, there's some extra cannons coming in. Storm starts, but that's not going to be ready in time to deal with this attack, as Roaches, Hydras, and a couple of Ravagers going to continue pushing forwards. Muscular Organ's not quite in the game just yet. Nerchio just going to try and get in here before the Void Ray numbers get too high. So he's going to start moving forwards. Here's the Hydras are going to be very important. The Corrosive Piles barely actually land on a lot of the Voids. The problem here is that actually the Hydras just... Well, the Hydras have enough to tank for them. The Voids don't have anything to tank for themselves. And so the Hydras get through the Void Rays very quickly. And Hellraiser is just going to type out GG. Nerchio is going to take the first game of this best of 5 series. And he's going to be going 1-0 up in the quarterfinals of the Wardi Open. The top right-hand side, the Blue Zerg player up a game. Now, in this best of 5 series, it is going to be Onyx Gaming's Nerchio. And down to the bottom left is going to be our red Protoss player. It is Hellraiser. So jumping into game number 2 of this right now, can be seeing what Hellraiser wants to change up, really. I mean, Nerchio, I kind of feel he doesn't need to do too much himself. I feel he can just play very standard throughout and consistently. But I think Hellraiser is definitely someone who has to try and change this around, change this up a little bit. And maybe just look for a different way to approach this. I mean, his 8-gate attack didn't really work out for him. Let's see what he's going to try and find. Now, he did actually play a lot of different styles against Raynor. If you guys remember back to the round of 16, he did play Raynor in the group stage, and it was a group stage which he did advance out of. He actually had a really great group stage, Hellraiser. He came back against Violet to win 3-2, and that knocked Violet down to the losers match. And then after beating Violet 3-2, he nearly beat DNS. He probably should have at least taken DNS to a 5th game. And then he actually went 3-2 against Raynor in the final match of the night. So it was a really cool group stage out of Hellraiser. It was really impressive for him to get this far. Because his group, while definitely being, I think, the easiest, I still feel as though he's like the biggest, he's the underdog player of that entire group. So pretty crazy for him to make it out of that. And well, it was really cool watching his games, and let's see what he's going to bring us now in game number 2 of this best of 5 series. As he does scout across the map, see what Nerchio's up to. Again, I don't expect Nerchio to change up his playstyle here at all. There's no real reason for him to. In the first game, he was very confident, he defended. He didn't even really show Hellraiser what he wanted to do, because a lot of what Nerchio was doing was sort of just a reaction to Hellraiser's build. So in this game, Nerchio can be the player who's saying, well, I'm going to do this and then this, and it's going to be Hellraiser who has to sort of react to what's actually going on over the course of the game. So we will see. I mean, in a way, he guessed the Hellraiser doesn't know he was going into roaches and roach speed, sure. But there's so many different ways to play out from there. So let's see. Link speed on the way up. We see the Cybercore coming down for Hellraiser as well, setting up here on Galactic Process, which is a fairly nice map to set up into kind of 3 bases or so, mostly because of all the rocks which have been added on. So you've got some rocks to the right-hand side over here. You've got the rocks to the left. And that means that with the complete wall and the natural, you have pretty much a very safe way of defending all of your bases. There's no easy way to bust through for any player. Now, you're going to see an Evo Chamber super early from Nerchio. That's going to be a little bit interesting. That's going to be a little bit different here compared to what we might be expecting to see. So, going to see this Evo Chamber on the way. Yeah, I'm intrigued by this one. I'm just going to see those links from Nerchio as well. Just going to be moving out in towards the center. So, I'm going to move out in towards the center a little bit here. You'll see the Stargate is about quarter way done as the opening from Hellraiser. So, that's his sort of plan. Nerchio's just not making any more drones, man. He's just continuing to spam out lings. He's just going to try and bust through, link flood his opponent, take a quick win in game number 2. Now, he actually already has this overload to the left side, which means he can drop up and get a little bit of a good way to kind of jump in towards the natural. So, he doesn't even necessarily have to bust the wall down, although I guess one of the first things he could do is probably, oh no, the Zealot leaves the wall so the lings will get in. I mean, I was going to say he could maybe come in from 2 angles on the Zealot, and then he can have access to this pylon and just further units that can come out. He's actually going to make sure he just cleans out the units first. The Stalker goes down as well. This is not already being a good start at all from Hellraiser, who has to go into Panic Crisis mode. Nice gateway to block some more units from getting in, but the main base is under attack, and he has to react to this as well. He has to react to this as well right now, as we're going to be seeing these lings continue to move around. The Oracle on the way out is actually going to be a big savior if you can get it, but the pylon is going to go down. Probe going to get targeted too, so no extra pylons will come out here. Mothership Core is here, but doesn't drop the overcharge. And Hellraiser is just falling apart. I like that, actually. The pylons here try and just block the lings in. And it does something, but more lings jump in from the other side. They're going to come in, surround these adepts. There's just no overcharge near where the Zerglings are any longer. Maybe when this pylon finishes, he can drop an overcharge. And there it is. Overcharge comes down. Cleans up a few lings. The rest of the lings will just go up towards the main base now as well. I mean, you look at this, though, and it's just Nerchio. He's running all over the place. The pylon at the front goes down, and that is just only really overcharges for him to kind of have to deal with. So at this point, Nerchio doesn't really have any concerns. He's just going to keep on making lings. He even starts up a +1 melee upgrade. He did actually drone up to kind of 36 workers rather than sticking on 21. And Hellraiser is just going to type out GG. Nerchio is going to take a 2-0 lead. And Hellraiser, we're going to jump in now into game number 3. We have to the bottom right-hand side is going to be our Blue Zerg player from Euronix Gaming. Let's see if you're cheering on Nerchio. And to the upper left-hand side, our red Protoss player is going to be Hellraiser. King Sejong, let's see what game number 3 will bring us. We've seen 2 very different openings. Aggression from either player so far, honestly. 8-gate Adept All-In on Frost from Hellraiser. The Ling Flood from Nerchio on Galactic Process. And Nerchio has come out victorious in both games so far. So, going well for Nerchio. Just very strong play, obviously. And Nerchio was one of the players why we had to delay this tournament so much after the group stage, as we had to wait for a long time for Nerchio to be available. because obviously him and Marine Lord 2 went to both the Casper Cup and then to WESG. Nerchio ended up winning WESG Europe, of course, as well. So Nerchio's having a very successful he's had a very successful year in general. Just Legacy of the Void has really been his game so far. He's been having a fantastic time. So it's all been going very well for him. As we are just going to be seeing that probe coming down to the bottom side of the map. Hellraiser just having a little bit of a look to see what's going on and what's happening in the early stages. So I see Breaker in the chat. Hey guys, what's up? Let me know if you're around. It's very quiet in the chat. It's not really quiet in the chat, but there's only like 3 or 4 different people talking. Where is everyone? Where are all the regulars? Oh, I go to LAN for a few days, even get the stream on at LAN just to try and give you guys some content, and you guys are all like, I don't know, you guys just all disappear. What happened? What happened? Crazy. I'm sure they will fill up a little bit. It's kind of an actual, right now is like a very odd time for the stream to be live, because it's this sort of time where usually like the Korean competitions are over, like the Leifeng Cups and the SGLs. As before we do like European based stuff, so it's a very sort of odd time for the stream to be live at the moment, so it is a little bit of a weird one. So thank you for joining us. Obviously already hitting about 500-ish viewers is fantastic just for our first round of 8 match. Considering the speed of the games as well, it's been pretty nice. Now remember, the winner of this series plays alive, and that will then be actually cast live as well. We're not going to be casting from replays anymore. Only casting from replays for this one series now, just to make it a little bit easier for kind of the scheduling, and just so it was just kind of the only way it was going to really work out was to cast this series from replays. So that's fine. I mean, it happens, and honestly, the fact that we've gone through the entire event and the only scheduling issue is that we had to cast this one series from replays. Obviously, we've had scheduling issues with other events, but for the most part, the scheduling for this event has been incredibly easy. So shout out to all of the players who took part for really just helping us with that, really just making it a little bit easier for ourselves. So always nice, and means I actually feel like I should actually run another one of these because it went so well. But we'll talk a little bit more about that later. As you can see, a couple of probes go down to just 2 Zerglings. Hellraiser just a little bit off with the micro there. Could have pulled back just a little bit sooner with those probes, and he would have been, well, would have come out just a little bit safer. Obviously, he would have had a couple more probes still on the map. So slight mistake already. Nerchio with less drones on his opponent. Not really too sure why. I guess just that sort of stage where he's just waiting on a round of drones to finish, which will boost him back up ahead and put him into the position we sort of expect him to be in. Oracle's about halfway done here from Hellraiser, so once again a Stargate base opening, similar to what he was trying to do in the last game. But obviously in the last game he sort of got denied the Oracle from coming out at all, and it was a very weird game because of the link flood. So just going to be seeing this Oracle coming out, and it will start to move down to that lower right hand side, and Adept is just moving on up and just having a look to see what's going on. So Adept just pops up here, going to be Stalker, just going to be chilling out and actually just moving away now. Doesn't have to hold the gap in the wall, so can go in and I guess sort of kill the Nexus. I mean, that's one way to use your Stalker. I was going to say again, position to maybe deny an Overlord Scout or something, but kill the Nexus is a bit of a unique way to do it as well. This Oracle comes in, does take a little bit of damage, but kills 4 workers. So kills off about 4 workers there, and we're just going to be seeing the Oracle backing away up the right hand side. There's our second Oracle about to come out as well. So there's a pretty nice trade from Hellraiser, and he did stop killing his own Nexus as well eventually, which is also a good thing as we kind of continue on. No delay on stream? Yeah, there's a 90-second delay on the stream today. We run 90-second delay for most events nowadays. So yes, there's a 90-second delay on stream. And we are live. This is just this one series from replays. The rest of the series will be completely live. But I'm still live with you guys. Fear not. Don't worry. We're here. I can talk to you guys. You can see the 2 Oracles coming in. 1 drone goes down instantly, but it's only 1 drone to go down instantly, as the Oracles will just back away now. The Void Ray being added on at the Stargate, so Void Ray just on the way up out of this. We see the +1 missiles coming in on this Evo chamber, so just getting that set up. And yeah, I mean, Nerchio just sort of opening very calmly and just very, I guess, I don't know. I mean, he didn't open +1 missiles this early in a previous map, so we'll see what sort of direction it takes him in. He's got these few lings just moving out. The Void Ray comes out here of Hellraiser, and I don't think that's anything more than him just saying, well, I've got a Stargate, I may as well just get rid of a couple of Overlords. Sometimes you see after a double Oracle opening, a single Phoenix. This time it's a single Void Ray. And it's just a way to make sure you can sort of, you know, shut down some Overlords nearby and make use of that Stargate. So we're going to be seeing those Oracles, just going to be backing away to the top side. The Lings kind of ran in but didn't do much. Plenty of Adepts here, good Sim City as well. Means Hellraiser is very safe for the time being. I was just going to see a couple of robo facilities added on towards the third base as well. So a couple of robo facilities just going to be coming up over here. The +1 attack upgrade on the Forge is coming down. You see a Hydralisk Den and a Rotron coming into play from Nerchio as well. So Rotron and a Hydralisk Den all coming into play right now. We see the 4th base, the 4th hatchery coming down here from Nerchio. And just setting that up now, getting that ready to roll. Just an extra little bit of oomph in his opening. I mean, for 6 minutes, 4 bases, I mean, it's kind of the norm nowadays, but just getting that setup shows he is happy. Just play it out macro, play it out as we expect. And just to keep on going in from there, so as long as going to run in towards the third base, we're going to see some probes already taking a little bit of damage. A couple of shots going off. Nerchio will back away over to the right-hand side now, and we'll just try and maybe think about which direction he wants to go into next. A couple of Immortals popping out of the Robos are going to be just sat over to the left-hand side, and well, we actually see a few drones taking some damage once again. About 3 workers being picked off there by Hellraiser. Every single time he comes in with these little attacks, it's just Hellraiser doing some very good damage. So, I mean, it's again, only 3 or 4 workers at a time, but consistently throughout the game, if that keeps happening, then that's pretty huge. One thing actually got through this wall here. Not sure how exactly that happened, but it did go down, and Nerchio didn't take advantage of it if there was indeed a gap there. Maybe the Adept just slightly misplaced. As the 2 Oracles looking to come back in again. Voidwood just still patrolling, I guess, looking for like a Balin drop or something coming into position. Ooh, the Hydras though are going to catch the Oracles. One of them probably would have got away, but in his panic mode, he probably like tried to pull it away, like back the direction it was coming, not realizing the Hydras had actually come in from behind. So that's a nice little pickup from Nerchio. And he definitely did catch Hellraiser off guard there. You could see him like panic, move the Oracles back, like straight back into the Hydras. It's like, oh crap, that didn't work. And it's just going to be seeing those links just gathering together. I mean, again, just in general, we see Hydras on the way up. The Lurker Den coming down too. Nerchio is heading into a situation where he's just going to be heading towards Lurkers, basically, as his sort of mid-game sort of setup. Now, obviously, he's got Mystical Augments Hydras right now, so he's got a lot of Hydras to work with. Not sure how much he'll really be able to do with these. That said, though, Hellraiser is very out of position. All the units to the right side, very slow to see these rocks going down to the left. I'm just going to be seeing these few Hydras just going to be, well, just poking away, just seeing what they can do. Assimilate takes a little bit of damage, and Hydra's just staying, again, in position. The thing is, Hellraiser doesn't want to commit too much to the left because he knows there's a possibility of an attack down the right at the same time, so he just wants to be cautious about how much he does commit. And we have 2 cannons here, overcharges available. I don't think that's realistically in the army or a position that Nerchio can really, attack up into. If he tries to attack up into that location, he's just going to lose so many of those Hydralisks. It just wouldn't be worthwhile at all. We're going to be seeing this over here, continuing to fly around. We're going to be seeing a few Lings just actually run into the main army here, which is now consisting of Disruptors and Immortals and Stalkers and Adepts. So as Blink finishes up, we're just going to be seeing actually Colossi on the way after this as well. So Hellraiser really mixed up his units coming in off of the, coming in on the, coming in with a cool variety of units off of the Robo Facility. As here we go, actually a little bit of an attack up into the Natural Expansion. Pylon's going to go down. Just going to be seeing these Hydras continue to work their way through wherever possible. I think that was the Mothership Core that just went down there. So I think Mothership Core has just fallen. And we're going to be seeing Nerchio just backing away. Turns around and fights if these Stalkers blink a bit too far forwards. Picks off one of them. There's plenty of save, and as his Lurker Den is now done, he can morph those Lurkers in. He's got a Spire coming up behind this Balin Nest too. So he's going to have kind of a mixture of everything, like Ling, Bane, Lurker, Hydra. Potential to switch into Mutilers if he wants to as well. Hive on the way, and that actually might be the most important thing of all of this. The Viper is a very good way for him to shut down a couple of Colossi, for him to shut down Disruptor shots as well. As we're just going to be seeing a few Stalkers blinking over to the left-hand side, and, well, Hydras, they are revelated, so he knows where they're going to be coming in from, so he can prepare accordingly. One Colossus comes to this direction too, as, wow, 40 Balins just morphed in from Nerchio, so he's getting a lot of Balins up and getting ready to go. And we're going to be seeing Balins just gathering themselves together on the 4th base, and again, these Lings and Hydras just position themselves too. I like it, just keeping Hellraiser from kind of going forwards for an attack, because he says, well, if you move forwards for an attack, boom, I'm going to come in and counterattack you. And there's no way you can move down this ramp specifically. Now, Stitch actually changes direction, picks off that Oracle once again. He did get a Revelation previously, but lose it once more is annoying, because you generally do want to keep an Oracle up in the game. The more Revelations you have, the more vision you have of your opponent's army, the better prepared you're going to be whenever a fight takes place. Just going to be seeing those units still gathering together to the left-hand side, and again, the 4th Nexus here is just continuing to come up from Hellraiser, just continuing to build here. Pylon and the Temple Archives coming in. It's very forward-placed Templar Archives is very vulnerable if this 4th base does fall. But we'll see if that comes into play, or comes into effect as time passes by. We're going to see these couple of overseers going to back away and going over to the right-hand side at the moment. So, looks though Nerchio's getting a bit, well, he's getting ready to attack basically. Look at how many Balins he has. Oh my god, he's just going to come in, well, kind of only really from 2 angles in the end. Big Disruptor shot down to the side is going to get a nice little connection to begin with. But man, these Balins just keep on rolling forwards. And they're just going to be picking off absolutely everything. Nerchio, well, I mean, that said, he is going to kind of run out of Balins eventually. And there is actually a rest of the army from Hellraiser at the back. Nerchio's still just streaming his Balins into these Stalkers, which do finally blink away. Process going down there. The 4th base did fall. Nerchio takes the supply lead from this. For a little while, it looked as though it was maybe going to be a bit even, but I feel Hellraiser maybe could have done more against those Balins. Even maybe a couple of sentries mixed in for some force fields could have completely changed that. As we're just going to be seeing the Stalkers, Colossi, 3 sentries all gathering together, and Hellraiser is just going to be continuing to kind of move forwards in towards the center of the map. So a few more units just moving in towards the center, and a lot of Lings up the right-hand side looking to see what they can get done. We're going to see a couple of Lings getting picked off. He has the Stalkers blink over to the right, and there's them Lings now moving in towards the 3rd base. So big counterattack from Nerchio. Hellraiser is just going to continue going across the map here, so Nerchio should get quite a bit of damage done. He's going to start attacking. He's going to peel the rest of the Lings away towards the natural. And you know what, as Hellraiser comes in to counterattack, he's going to run into Lurkers, so that's an issue he's probably not really kind of considered just yet. Corruptors are here. They can fight against the Colossi without too much of an issue. Obviously, the Stalkers can pick them off, but there's only 2 Colossi he has to get rid of, as the Lings are very successful here over towards the 3rd base. And now the production is going down. The Robos are going to fall. I mean, even overcharges at this point are not going to kill enough. It's not going to kill enough Zerglings fast enough. 3rd Nexus will go down here. Hellraiser is still just positioned out on the map, trying to poke forwards, but how do you fight into all of these Lurkers? You just don't. It's very, very difficult to fight into all of those Lurkers. It really is. As we're going to be seeing those Zerglings from Nerchio just going to back away over the right-hand side and look to see what direction they may want to go into next. So more Lings continue to come up here. A lot more Balins going to start to morph in too, as these Lurkers are going to be just burrowing up on this high ground. And that's actually how he's just going to type out GG. Doesn't even bother trying to take the engagement. Just knows he's not going to be able to fight this.